And I remember one girl getting out of the minibus and taking 2 streets and saying, "I'm a scholar." And every little old lady in those shopping centres says, "Ah, how nice you look." And the students, we didn't need to give them a lift home, they just sort of walked about 4 feet above the ground. We rewarded what we thought was of value. We had over a dozen academic scholarships to give out at the final prize giving students full fees payment for their tertiary education. Why? Because that's what we value. Though we love sport and we promoted sport, we took sport out of our senior prize giving, except for the sportsman and sportswoman of the year, so that we could concentrate everybody on what was our key function, the academic achievement of young people. There's another side, of course, to that, and that is that young people need to know that there are consequences for their actions. And we were absolutely unequivocal about what those consequences would be. Every term, at least once, I would say to the students, if you bring drugs or alcohol into the school, you will be suspended pending a board hearing, and our absolute resolution to the board will be that you be excluded from the school. And in the whole time I was there, any time a student was involved in any way with drugs and alcohol, they were excluded from that school. We usually had 1 case a year. And in that community, they learned that drugs and education don't mix. We had a policy which was basically 3 strikes and you're out. If you are involved in any form of intimidation of another student, you get a first warning interview with your parents and support. You get a second warning interview with your parents and support. The third warning that you are before the board. We have no place in the school for you if you wish to behave like that. Students very quickly learned that you can't behave in that way and that there are other ways of dealing with it. We mix those consequences with support. But the consequences were there, they were firmly in place by the board, and the students understood what those bottom lines were. It's a sad fact that sometimes you have to sacrifice a few for the good of the many. We had to do that with some students, but we had to do it less and less and less as time went on. What we didn't see was good students leaving because they were good students and just couldn't stand it anymore. Because that's the other side of that coin. I want to finish because you've listened to people for a long time by saying that to change a school around takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of people supporting the people that lead that. I had that support for most of my time at Tamaki College. When I felt that support wane towards the end, I think when people got sort of used to the way the school was, then I realised it was time for me to leave. Because no person can do it without the full backing of their board behind them. No principal can do it without the full support of their senior management and the staff. problem with change is that most people who are in the organisation will react against that change. And people won't like you. But at the end of the day, hopefully many people will respect you for the changes that are being made. What does it take to turn around an organisation and make it a positive place for young people? I've talked to you about Tamaki College. But I want to say that is one context. Every school has its different context. What it takes is whatever it takes. And no one way is the way. There's only whatever way that works. And the right people will find that way. What you're looking for is people who are prepared to stand up and say that when you are dealing with the transformation of the lives of young people, then anything but excellence in all things at all times is just not an option. Thank you.